The phone buzzed on my nightstand at 2 a.m., jolting me from a restless sleep. It was a text from my boyfriend. Alex, meet me at the old warehouse on Elm Street.
Urgent.
My heart raced as I threw on clothes and slipped out of the house, the cool Chicago night air biting at my skin, but nothing prepared me for what I found. My father, arms wrapped around Alex in a passionate kiss under the flickering streetlight. I froze in the shadows, my world crumbling in an instant. How could this be happening? My dad, the pillar of our conservative family, the man who preached about traditional values at every dinner table, entangled with the guy I'd been secretly dating for a year. Alex, with his messy brown hair and that disarming smile, had been my escape from the suffocating expectations at home. We'd met at a college party, bonded over shared dreams of leaving this judgmental city behind. But now, betrayal stabbed deeper than I could imagine. I backed away silently, my mind reeling. Should I confront them? Run home and pretend I saw nothing? The drive back was a blur of tears and questions. Why Alex? Why my dad? Was this some twisted joke? By the time I slipped back into bed, dawn was breaking, and I knew sleep wouldn't come. The next morning, I forced a smile at breakfast, watching my father sip his coffee like nothing had changed. "Good morning, son," he said, his voice steady as ever. Mom bustled around the kitchen, oblivious, humming an old tune. My sister, Emily, scrolled through her phone, complaining about school. Everything felt like a facade now. I couldn't look at him without picturing that scene. Dad was a successful lawyer, the kind who defended family values in courtrooms, railing against anything that deviated from the norm. He'd always been distant with me, pushing me toward sports and manly pursuits, never suspecting, or perhaps ignoring, the truth about my sexuality. I'd hidden it well, dating girls in high school to keep up appearances, but college had given me freedom. Alex was my first real relationship, built on stolen moments and whispered promises. That afternoon, I texted Alex to meet at our usual spot in Grant Park. He showed up looking guilty, his eyes avoiding mine. "What's going on?" I demanded, my voice low but shaking. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It's complicated, Jake. Your dad. He approached me months ago, said he needed someone to talk to, that he was going through something. Talk? That kiss wasn't talking. And you just went along with it?" I hissed. Alex's face crumpled. I didn't know how to say no. He's powerful, Jake. And I felt sorry for him. He's trapped, just like us. Trapped. The word echoed in my head. Dad had married Mom young, right out of college, pressured by his own strict parents. They'd built a life in the suburbs, attended church every Sunday, volunteered for conservative causes. But now, this secret. Was he gay? Bisexual? Or just experimenting at my expense? Alex swore it was a one-time thing, but I didn't believe him. "End it," I said flatly, "or we're done." He nodded, but his eyes held doubt. Days blurred into a tense routine. I avoided Dad, burying myself in classes at the University of Chicago. But the pressure built. Emily noticed my mood, probing gently. "You okay, bro? You seem off." I shrugged it off, but inside, the conflict raged. Confronting Dad meant risking everything. Our family, his career, my own coming out. Keeping silent meant living a lie, watching the betrayal fester. One evening, Dad called me into his study. "We need to talk, Jake." My stomach dropped. Had he seen me that night? He closed the door, his face serious. "I've noticed you've been distant. Is something wrong?" I hesitated, the words caught in my throat. Instead, I lied. "Just school stress." He nodded, but his eyes lingered. "You know you can tell me anything, right?" The irony burned. If only he knew. That night, I confided in my best friend, Mark. We'd been buddies since grade school, the only one who knew about Alex and me. "Dude, that's messed up," Mark said over coffee. "You gotta confront them." But how? The thought of shattering Mom's world terrified me. She adored Dad, built her life around him. And Emily? She'd be devastated. As weeks passed, I pieced together clues. Dad's late nights at the office, mysterious texts he hid from Mom, Alex grew distant, canceling dates. Suspicion gnawed at me. One day, I followed Dad after work. He drove to a motel on the outskirts, and sure enough, Alex's car was there. Rage boiled over. I stormed in, pounding on the door. They opened it, shocked. "What the hell?" I yelled. Dad's face paled. "Jake, this isn't what it looks like." But it was exactly that. Alex stammered apologies, but I didn't listen. "How long?" I demanded. Dad sighed, defeated. "A few months. I don't know who I am anymore." His confession hit like a punch. He'd been struggling with his identity for years, suppressing it for the family. Alex was his outlet, a mistake born of desperation. We argued for hours. Dad begged for forgiveness, promising to end it. Alex swore loyalty to me, but trust was shattered. I left them there, driving aimlessly. The moral dilemma weighed heavy. Expose them and destroy the family, or stay silent and enable the lie? The days following the confrontation were a whirlwind of whispered arguments and uneasy silences. Dad avoided eye contact at home. Mom sensed the tension but attributed it to work stress. "Your father's been so busy lately," she'd say, forcing a smile. I nodded, biting back the truth. Emily, perceptive as ever, cornered me one afternoon. "Spill it, Jake. What's going on with you and Dad?" I deflected, but her worry lingered. Alex called repeatedly, leaving voicemails pleading for a chance to explain. "I love you, Jake. This was a mistake." Love? The word felt hollow now. I trusted him completely, shared my fears of coming out, my dreams of a future together. But he'd betrayed me with the one person who should have protected me. I ignored his calls, focusing on survival. At school, concentration eluded me. Professors noticed my slipping grades, but I brushed off their concerns. Mark became my lifeline, meeting me for late-night talks. "You can't keep this bottled up," he urged. "Tell your mom." But the thought paralyzed me. Mom came from a devout Catholic family, where divorce was taboo, and anything outside heteronormative was sinful. Revealing Dad's affair, and with a man, would crush her. One evening, Dad pulled me aside after dinner. "We need to resolve this," he whispered. In his study, he poured us both scotch, his hands trembling. "I'm sorry, son. I've been living a lie for too long." He confessed everything. Suppressed attraction since college, marrying Mom to fit societal expectations, the pressure from his own father to be the perfect man. Alex was a way to feel alive. His vulnerability disarmed me. For the first time, I saw him not as the authoritative figure, but as a broken man. "But why him?" I asked, voice cracking. Dad's eyes filled with regret. "Coincidence." He reminded me of myself at that age. Confused, hiding. We talked for hours, bridging years of distance. He admitted fearing I'd turn out like him, pushing me toward normalcy to protect me. Irony twisted the knife deeper. I left feeling conflicted. Forgiveness tempted me, but betrayal stung. That night, Alex showed up at my door, rain-soaked. "Please, Jake." Against better judgment, I let him in. He explained. Dad had confided in him first, seeking advice on identity. Sympathy turned to something more, a forbidden connection. "I should have stopped it," Alex admitted. "But I was scared." Scared of what? Losing me? Or exposing Dad? We argued, voices rising. "You chose him over me," I accused. Alex denied it, but doubt lingered. He left promising change, but trust was fractured. Society's weight pressed down. In Chicago's progressive pockets, being gay was accepted, but in our suburban enclave, whispers and judgments ruled. Dad's law firm catered to conservative clients. Exposure could ruin him. My own friends, even Mark, came from similar backgrounds. Coming out meant risking isolation. Weeks later, a family dinner escalated the tension. Mom announced a church event, praising Dad's community involvement. He forced enthusiasm, but I saw the strain. Emily chattered about her boyfriend. Oblivious. Jealousy flared. Why couldn't I have that normalcy? After Dad and I clashed again. "You need to tell Mom," I insisted. He refused. "It would destroy her." Selfish, I thought. But was it? Protecting the family or avoiding consequences? Alex pushed for reconciliation. We met in a cafe tentative. Let's start over, he suggested. I wanted to, but visions of that kiss haunted me. How can I trust you? He had no answer. Mark, sensing my turmoil, invited me to a support group for LGBTQ youth. Reluctant, I went. Stories of rejection, acceptance, resonated. One guy shared losing his family after coming out. Another found strength in truth. It sparked something, maybe honesty was the path. But back home, deception reigned. Mom noticed Dad's distraction, questioning him. He lied smoothly. Watching, guilt consumed me. Was I complicit? One night, I overheard them arguing. What's wrong with you lately? Mom demanded. Dad evaded. The lie grew, poisoning everything. I confronted Alex again. If you love me, end it completely. He agreed, but his hesitation spoke volumes. The breaking point came at a family gathering. Uncle Tom, Dad's brother, a staunch conservative, ranted about moral decay in society. Dad nodded along, but his eyes met mine, guilty. Couldn't take it. Excusing myself, I fled to the backyard, tears streaming. Alex texted. I told him it's over. Relief mixed with sorrow. But was it enough? As high noon approached, decisions loomed. Keep the secret, preserve the facade, or shatter it for truth. The cost of each weighed heavy. The secret festered like an open wound, infecting every aspect of my life. Classes became a blur. I failed a midterm, prompting a concerned email from my advisor. Jake, let's talk about your performance. I ignored it, drowning in indecision. Mark pushed harder. Dude, this is eating you alive. You gotta choose a side. Choose a side. As if it were that simple. On one hand, loyalty to family, protecting Mom from heartbreak, Emily from scandal. On the other, justice for myself, demanding accountability. Dad's confession had humanized him, but it didn't erase the pain.
Alex apologie rend au low, action spocloudée.
One afternoon, I skipped class to tail Dad again. Paranoia gripped me. He met Alex at a park bench, not a motel. Progress? But their intense conversation, heads close, reignited fury. I approached, unannounced. What now? They startled. Dad stood. Just talking, son. Alex nodded vigorously. Closure. Closure. I scoffed. For who? We hashed it out under the trees, voices low. Dad admitted lingering feelings but vowed therapy. I'll get help. Figure this out. Alex echoed. I'm done with secrets. Skeptical, I demanded proof. That evening, Dad announced family therapy to Mom, framing it as stress management. She agreed, puzzled but supportive. Emily rolled her eyes. Lame, but it was a start. Alex and I tried dating again, awkward dinners, forced laughs. Trust rebuilt slowly, brick by fragile brick. But society's shadows loomed. A news story about a politician outed for an affair hit close. Public shaming, career ruin. Dad watched pale. At the support group, I shared anonymously. My family's hiding a big secret. Do I expose it? Responses varied. Some urged truth, others caution. One older man said, truth has a price. Make sure you're willing to pay. The price. For Dad, his reputation. For Mom, her marriage. For me, my relationships. Moral ambiguity clouded everything. Was Dad's repression an excuse? Alex's sympathy a betrayal? A turning point came during therapy. The counselor probed family dynamics. Dad skirted truths, but I saw cracks. After, he confided, I'm seeing a specialist for my issues. Progress, but slow. Alex surprised me with tickets to a concert, our first date spot. Remember when? Nostalgia softened me. We kissed under stage lights, a spark reigniting. But doubt whispered. Home life strained. Mom confided in me. Your dad's different. Distant. Guilt twisted. Maybe he's just tired. I lied. Her worry deepened the divide. Emily, sensing undercurrents, confronted Dad. Why's everyone acting weird? He dismissed it, but she dug, finding old texts on his phone. Innocent, but suspicious. Who's Alex? She asked at dinner. Tension spiked. Dad stammered. A client. Mom frowned. I changed the subject, heart pounding. Later, Emily grilled me. Tell me the truth. Torn. I confessed partially. Dad's having an affair. Her eyes widened. With who? I hesitated. A guy. Shock, then tears. Does Mom know? No. We hugged, united in pain. Emily's reaction amplified the conflict. We have to tell her. But Dad begged us not to. Give me time. Time for what? More lies? Alex, learning of Emily's knowledge, panicked. This could blow up. Indeed, rumors at Dad's firm hinted at irregularities. Paranoia grew. In a heated call, I accused Dad of dragging us down. End the charade. He wept. I never wanted this. Neither did I. The climax built at a church event. Uncle Tom preached intolerance. Dad, usually agreeing, stayed silent. Mom noticed. After arguments erupted. What's with you? She demanded. Couldn't hold back. Mom, there's something you need to know. But Dad interrupted, pulling me aside. Don't. Torn between loyalties, I chose silence, for now. But the dam cracked. Alex offered escape. Run away with me. Tempting, but abandoning family? No. As tensions peaked, a decision crystallized. Truth, whatever the cost. The family therapy session exploded like a grenade. The counselor asked about unspoken issues. Mom vented frustrations. Dad evaded. Emily, fueled by anger, blurted, Dad's cheating. Mom's face drained of color. What? Chaos ensued. Dad denied at first, then crumbled. It's true. Mom demanded details. He confessed the affair, but omitted the gender. With who? She pressed. Hesitation. I interjected. With Alex. My boyfriend. The room fell silent. Mom stared, disbelieving. Your boyfriend? The double revelation hit hard. Emily supported me, hand on my shoulder. Dad explained his struggles, tears flowing. I've been hiding who I am. Mom stormed out, sobbing. The counselor tried calming, but damage was done. Home became a battlefield. Mom packed a bag, staying with her sister. I need space. Emily oscillated between anger and empathy. How could you, Dad? He had no defense. I confronted Alex. This is on you too. He accepted blame. I ruined everything. Our relationship hung by a thread. Society's backlash loomed. Word spread, first to extended family. Uncle Tom called, furious. This is an abomination. Dad's firm placed him on leave, clients fleeing. Reputations tarnished. At school, whispers followed me. Mark stood by, but others distanced. Isolation set in. Mom returned days later, demanding talks. Hours of arguments, revelations. She grappled with betrayal, but also Dad's pain. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Hurt mingled with understanding. I came out fully to her. I'm gay, Mom. Tears, then a hug. I love you, no matter what. Acceptance, hard won. Dad sought therapy intensely, exploring his identity. Maybe I'm bisexual, he admitted. Steps toward self-acceptance. Alex and I broke up. Too much damage, I said. He nodded, heartbroken. I'll always care. Healing began slowly. Family dinners, tentative. Mom filed for separation, but amicably. We can co-parent. Emily thrived in therapy, advocating for LGBTQ rights at school. I joined activism, channeling pain into purpose. Marches, speeches, finding community. But scars remained. Dad's career suffered. He started a new practice, focusing on civil rights. Irony noted. Reflecting, choices haunted. Was exposing worth the pain? Lives upended, but truths freed. As dust settled, new normals emerged. Mom dated eventually, finding happiness. Dad explored openly, cautiously. I met someone new, cautious but hopeful. Life moved on, marked by that fateful night. Rebuilding took months, Each day a step through emotional minefields. Mom and Dad's separation finalized, but they remained civil for us kids. Emily became my fierce ally, joining me at pride events, her enthusiasm a bomb. "We're in this together," she'd say. Dad's journey deepened. He attended support groups, sharing his story anonymously at first, then openly. I lost everything, but gained myself. His new practice flourished, defending those marginalized. Pride replaced shame. I graduated college, landing a job in social work, helping others navigate similar crises. Mark remained steadfast, our friendship stronger. Alex, we crossed paths occasionally, nods of acknowledgement. No bitterness, just lessons learned. Society's gaze lingered. Neighbors whispered, but we held heads high. Uncle Tom distanced, but others surprised with support. A cousin came out, inspired. Reflecting on that warehouse night, paths diverged. Betrayal birthed growth, pain forged resilience. But questions remained. Did Dad's repression justify his actions? Was Alex's sympathy excusable? My silence complicit? Family gatherings evolved honest, raw. Mom laughed freely, Dad shared vulnerabilities. Emily dated openly, unburdened. I found love again, with Ryan. A steady presence, no secrets. "You're brave," he'd say, but bravery came at cost. Years later, at a family reunion, Dad pulled me aside. "Thank you for forcing the truth." Gratitude mixed with regret. Life's tapestry, woven with threads of choice and consequence. In the end, was the destruction necessary for rebirth? Or could silence have preserved more than it harmed? What do you think? Was exposing the affair the right choice or a mistake that cost too much?